All right, I think I got it. Hi, guys. Let's see. Got a little bit of a delay. So, for some reason, it's not playing both the chat and I'm almost there, guys. Give me 1 second. This is why I need to do lives more often so that this doesn't happen. Um, I'm not sure why it's doing the two different screens. Let's see if I can do both. And let's close that. So it has the chat in one section and then the video in the other, which that's not going to work for me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is start the video and then I may have to go back in and like go to the other section to see the chat and see what you guys are talking about, and then we'll go from there. So good morning, everyone. I'm Felicia. I'm a physical therapist and lifestyle coach. I help women create and build their dream lives in a body that they love while on a budget that they can afford. And what I've realized is that by me living that myself, it has allowed other women to freely like live out loud and do the same thing for themselves as well. So thank you guys so much for joining this live video. I just wanted to jump on and share with you guys about my first 3 days that I've experienced with intermittent fasting. Oh my goodness. You guys have probably heard me talk about on the channel where I typically use intermittent fasting whenever I go on vacation because I find there it gives me a little bit more flexibility. But you guys have probably also heard me say that it is not something that I was like ready to dive in and like do full time. But like everything else in life, sometimes things change. And I have definitely changed my stance on whether or not if I want to do intermittent fasting. So the last 3 days, let me just tell you, they have been incredible, very amazing. I'm having such a great time on this journey. And today I wanted to share with you guys like mostly like my 5 top reasons as to why I decided to try intermittent fasting. So I'm going to take a look and see what you guys are saying. Hi, so happy to see you here. All right, guys. So number one, like if you guys have seen like the last few videos on the channel, you've seen me go through and I've been decluttering my closet. Some other things I've been decluttered in my life, like the bathroom, I redid my office, and I've just been going through this phase of like just decluttering and so, like getting rid of things that are not necessary, because I'm sure you guys all know like decision fatigue is a real thing. So number one reason as to why I decided to go to start doing intermittent fasting was because of that. Like because I was doing all of this decluttering and just trying to simplify my life a bit, I also wanted to simplify my choices and my decisions around food. Um, for me, with intermittent fasting, my initial goal was to fast for 18 hours and then have a 6 hour eating window. But what I've quickly found is that the first day I fasted for 17 hours and then 20 hours and then 21 hours on the third day. So one thing that I found is that doing the meal prep definitely helps. decrease decision fatigue, but also not having to think about what to eat and when to eat 3 times a day. Like that's just really helped me out. And even before I started doing bright line eating, I was doing like trying to eat 5 to 6 small meals a day, and those are a lot of decisions that you're making and trying to just decide what to eat, when to eat, and all of that stuff. And I do want to preface this video with saying that I am just sharing with you guys my experience with intermittent fasting. I'm not saying that this is something that you should do. I'm not pushing this down on anyone else. I just wanted to share with you guys like how it's been going for me. Okay. Number two, the second reason why I started doing intermittent fasting was like just to kind of enjoy meals with my family and also at family events a bit more. So before I was really, I won't say strict. It didn't feel strict to me, but I had to measure my food so that I only had like 4 ounces of protein, or, like I didn't eat, I only ate a certain amount of fat in each meal, and I had a certain amount of veggies or fruit that I ate at each meal. And it wasn't hard. I did it for a year, so it had become much more simple. But one thing that I did struggle with, I feel like I'm a little low. Sorry about that. One thing I did struggle with was being able to create different recipes that I wanted to try, like for myself and my family, because sometimes it's hard to like measure everything out and then make sure, like for myself, I only had a certain amount of fat on my serving. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys, but I actually do enjoy cooking, particularly when I have time to cook. So that was something that I'm looking forward to. And then I still don't eat sugar and flour. However, what I'm thinking and hoping is that with intermittent fasting, at family events, I can partake more because remember, I create my fasting window. No one else is doing that for me. But I can like just participate in a little bit more and not have to be concerned about how much butter is on here. Did I get all of my fats? Did I get all of, where's the fruit? Like just some of those things. I'm going to pop in and see what you guys are saying. Okay, so number three, the next thing for me was busy work schedule. So I live here in Florida. You guys know I'm a home health physical therapist, and we are about to hit season again. Like we are about to hit our busy season. And I just wanted something that was a little bit, had more ease behind it. And for me, intermittent fasting was very attractive because now I don't have to worry about two of those meals, like breakfast and lunch, and by the time, well, I will say that if I were to pack a breakfast, like let's say for instance on yesterday, my eating window fell during a time while I was still at work. I only had to pack one meal and it was so simple. Like I didn't have to worry about how much fat was on it. I didn't have to measure anything out. I just put my food in there. I don't track calories or any of that stuff. So it was just a lot. I've noticed it's a lot more easier for me. And then number four, I am a person that thrives off of discipline. And you guys saw, like over the summer, I had a lot of fun and very little discipline around food. As a matter of fact, that's kind of what led me to intermittent fasting, is because I'm the type of person where I like to sit down and do self-reflection. For instance, I was sitting down and I was just kind of like journaling and writing out like what things went well for the summer, what things, could we improve upon, because I like to use all of that information and then use it for the following year. So after like doing like the overall family portion of it, because I'm on this weight loss journey, I also sat down and I was like, what went well with my weight loss journey, and like what were some of the things that I could improve upon. And one, I didn't have as much discipline as I felt I should have. But again, a lot of that was because of the restrictions, like measuring out the 4 ounces of protein, measuring out, like I didn't have that discipline. So I figured that maybe, just give intermittent fasting a try and like see how you do and see if this gives you, again, like a little bit more of that flexibility And then also with the discipline of just here are your times in which you eat, and like just go from there. And surprisingly, this has not required as much discipline as I thought it would. But again, you guys, I've only completed 3 days. Today is my fourth day, but I've been very surprised that this has not required as much discipline as I thought. Okay, I want to see what you guys are saying in the chat. And I'm curious, how's everyone else doing with all of their discipline around food and your workouts and structure and all of that? Oh, goodness, I spelled that so wrong. All right, and then the final reason why which kind of ties back into everything else, why I wanted to give intermittent fasting a try, is for food freedom. Again, like I mentioned, measuring my food is what got me here, right? It got me to the 38 pound weight loss, and I am so appreciative for that. But where I think I've gone wrong on my weight loss journeys before, things that have made me start, stop, stop for like months, years before I even get back on, is in the past, I would not change my program based upon the season of life that I'm in. And because I've come so far and because I've failed so many times before, I think I'm finally at a point to where I am able to accept, okay, Felicia, we're walking into a different season of life. Now what? Versus like before, I think that would make me, like, let's say for instance, I did bright line eating for like the first year, and it's like, oh my gosh, like now you're gonna fail, like it's no longer working for you, which it is. It's still working for me. I'm not working. And like I told you guys before, I believe that every program works. We just have to work the program. And I have hit a phase of life where working that particular program, it's becoming a little bit more difficult for me. So what do? Do you just stop? Do you jump off? Do you abandon the entire program? Well, Felicia, a few years ago, that's what she did. You guys can go back, look on the channel and see. But no, not this time. So because I am committed to this journey, I'm committed to my life. Like, this is my life. Like, I'm not training for anything in particular. I'm not losing weight for any event. I'm losing weight for Felicia for the rest of my life. So at this point, I do want to start with intermittent fasting. I love, over the last 3 days, you guys, I love the way that I feel. My energy levels are incredible. And I love that as I'm working, I'm not thinking about what time I eat or like what will I eat. And I'm able to just focus on my work and get work done. So that's been really very rewarding for me. And then I'm also eating foods that I love. Like, I have so much food freedom because I can make recipes. Like, you guys saw that cracked chicken that I made in last week's video. Like, I can do things like that and not worry about, like, does it have too much fat, too much cheese, too much, because I know that I'm not overeating. And currently, I know that OMAD is a big thing where people do 1 meal a day. However, right now I'm currently at 2 meals a day. And as I mentioned before, my initial goal was to do 18 hours fasting, 6 hours like eating, a feeding window. But I've very easily fallen into the 20-hour fasting, 4-hour eating, and I eat at the top of my window. And then I also try to eat into the last 35 minutes or so of my window. And I'm not strict on it. To me, this is not something where, if I have one day where I don't fast, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm no longer intermittent I'm no longer a faster. I don't feel that way. I used to feel that way before, like whenever I did keto, tried keto and different things like that back in the past, but like I no longer feel that way. So I just want to check out the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I know this is a really early live. I mean, I put it for 6 a.m. but it was either I do it at 6 a.m. or I don't do it at all because work. And I do need to go work out here in a little bit. So again, I just wanted to share with you guys because you probably will be seeing more videos regarding intermittent fasting. And again, this is not something that I'm trying to push. It's not something I'm pushing on you at all, or even for you to even try or think about. I just want to share my experience. And right now at this phase, I'm not at a phase yet in where I'm ready to teach you guys certain things, maybe in the future, but right now I do take ownership and I do acknowledge that I myself, I'm still learning. So until I feel more comfortable and I know more, like I haven't read any books, I haven't done any deep dives. Like I just the same way when I decided that I was going to do bright line eating, I think I saw something and I was like, oh wow, that sounds good. And like even before reading the book, I just ordered the little chart where it had the measurements of like what to eat and so forth. And I followed this Facebook group. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing bright line eating now. And I do want to say it's not that I have ditched bright line eating, but I no longer measure my food. I did learn good things from there, like for instance, the sugar and flour. And I'll also say that I've tried intermittent fasting before in the past, and I think reasons why. Actually, I could just do a video on that. Reasons why I wasn't successful in the past. But I do have more control. I think since I no longer eat the sugar, I think that it's allowing me to fast a lot longer. I don't know. Again, we're on day 3, well, day 4. So in the future, again, I'll be sure to update you guys and share more with you guys. Oh, like I was saying, so I'm just one of those persons, I decide I'm going to do something and then I just do it. For instance, when I decided to do bright line eating, it was literally right before our daughter's graduation party. And graduation party as in we went away for that weekend with tons of family, huge 9-bedroom Airbnb. So there was food galore. And I didn't even think about that like at the time. But then leading up to it, I was like, oh, wait, you just started this program last week and you just paid like $75 for a cake that you can't eat and cookies and all of this great stuff that you can't eat. But what I found was that it wasn't about what I couldn't do, and I just partook in the things that I could, and I enjoyed my family and celebrated my daughter, and it was amazing. And again, you guys, I've done the same thing. Like we literally have one more vacation, which is a cruise, right? So you guys will get to see how I manage and maneuver my intermittent fasting journey on that cruise, because again, I am committed to this journey and I look forward to sharing it with you guys here on the channel. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.